Hey guys, welcome, happy Thursday. We are coming at you from the Paint Couture Facebook page. My name's Ann, I'm from Pearson Bow, and we're located a little north of Houston, we're in Old Town Spring, which is a small old railroad place. It was happening about 100 years ago. Now it's just a shopping district. And we are very thankful the hurricane missed us, but we are sending a lot of prayers out to our Louisiana neighbors. We know that they're dealing with a lot of the aftermath. So when you hop on, just let me know where you're from and how's it going for you. And we're going to go ahead and kind of go back over what we did last week. So this piece we started last week. It is a 2-drawer chest, and there is a mirror that goes on top. I'd already cleaned her up and noticed she was going to be a bleeder, and what I mean by that is she was going to have some tannin bleeds. The piece is older, and that generally does happen with some of the darker woods. You've got oaks, mahoganies. They will typically, the tannins from the wood will come out through the finish. And you can always use a stain blocker primer if you want. But if you don't have it on hand, you don't ever have to fret. You can use the flat or the satin top coat that Paint Couture has. And the reason I say they're flat is it's actually a little more of an eggshell finish. Has a little bit of a sheen. So it works perfect for blocking the tannins. We recommend 2 coats. And I will tell you the top was a little bit of a pickle, mostly because I did sand her. The top was crazing, which means she had a crackled finish, and we wanted to have a nice smooth top, so that had to be sanded off. And when I did that, of course, that's taking off more of that protective clear coat and exposing more of the tannins coming up. So I did put 3 coats of the flat top coat before painting it. And how I knew she was ready is when I got to my 3rd coat, there was no more tannin bleed on my paintbrush. So as you're brushing that clear coat on, you'll still have some tannin bleed. So that's a great indicator that you've sealed that in and you're not going to have any more tannin bleed on your product. Same thing with any stain blocking primer. You'll notice it's kind of yellowy. Just add another coat. Sometimes you just have some that are a little more finicky than others. Like the rest of the piece was just a light sand, so it wasn't too much. So just 2 coats of the top coat, and we were ready to go. We also painted this guy in Italian ivory. Beautiful creamy color. Everybody should have this in their painting repertoire. Alright, so when we left you last week, we had finished painting her, and I put the 2nd coat and all that good stuff, but we were at a dilemma. What were we going to glaze it with? And we were not sure if we should do the Raven Black, which is this color right here, or the Zinc. And Raven Black is a very dark, black, opaque glaze. And if you've used black chiffon is a little more translucent. That way you kind of have the gauge on how these two are going to react when you're talking about Black Raven and black chiffon. So this was Black Raven, and then Zinc, which is more of a gray tone, and it has a bit of a shimmer to it. It's very similar when it's done like the weathered wood. So if you've used weathered wood, I would say it's pretty close to Zinc. Zinc just has a little more shimmer to it. So you guys picked Raven Black, which is this darker color. Alright, so I kind of cheated and started on a piece so that we can kind of go over that. So this right here is the Italian ivory, and this is going to be holding up the mirror on the back. So there's going to be a little gallery piece that goes back here. This will sit on that, but this has this cool little pattern to it. Okay, so I've already gone ahead and done one of these in the Raven Black. So I love it. So you can really see the detail now on these pieces. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take my Raven Black and I'm going to shake it up. And usually I'm going to work in small sections. So we're going to work on this part right here. So this is very similar to that. It's a little carved argyle type diamond pattern here. I'm going to shake up our Black Raven. and we're going to apply it. And I'm using a chip brush. You can use any kind of brush. I'm actually using a cheaper chip brush. You can use a good brush, it doesn't matter. It's soap and water cleanup. I do like to pick and make sure I pull all the little hairs, because these like to leave hairs behind. So we're going to go ahead and apply on this section, and I don't want to overlap back here on the sides, so I'm only working this section. If I do get some on these portions, I will wipe it away pretty quickly. I don't want it to get too dark. This is a very, very dark glaze. Okay, so you guys can see. And by the way, I actually have this stationery today. We have it on 2 bed lifts so we can make it taller. So that is Black Raven. Very, very dark. And this is a nice thick consistency when it comes to the glaze. It's kind of pudding-like, which I like it. It's very easy to work with. So we're gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna go ahead and start putting it on there. I know it's gonna freak you out. It's like black. Trust me. I've already been playing around with this, and it's very dark. I'm gonna try to get all those little groovies here. I don't like to overlap because it's not going to be quite dry, and if it's not quite dry, you can pull up your glaze when you go back over the other section. So that's why I don't like to. Okay, I'm going to get that in there. Okay, all right. So I'm going to take a clean dry cloth, and let me get some more up there. This part's going to be a little harder to get to and work on. It's way up there. But all right, let's go. And we're just going to wipe this back. And I'm going to get very dirty when I'm doing this, because it's just inevitable. We're going to get glaze all over. And I just keep turning my cloth as I keep wiping it back. And I have a little bit on the side, so I'm going to go ahead and wipe that off, because I don't want it to be smudgy looking. So we're going to keep wiping this back. I'm going to find a clean spot here. And we're going to just keep on wiping this back until I get to the desired look I want. Okay. It's a lot on the sides there, so. And then the only downfall on having this little guy on my bed lifts here is it's got a little cup, and it can be a little hard to get my hands down in there. And I missed a few. There's some real heavy texture in this guy, so I want to make sure that I don't leave any blank spots there. I want to get it nice and complete. Okay. And you can leave it dark if you'd like, or if you wipe away too much, you can just let it dry about 24 hours and then apply a second coat. I think with the Black Raven, 1 coat's probably going to be sufficient. All right, so let's see how we've got here. And if you guys have any questions, make sure you drop them down in the comments. And also, if you have friends that should be seeing these videos, make sure you pass it along to your friends and give us a thumbs up. All right. Oh, got a little bit extra down here, so I'm just going to wipe that away. Okay. All right. I want to get some of this on the edge. I don't want it super dark. I mean, it's already dark, but I don't want it to be super dark in my edges there. Really want it to be kind of in the crevice of the piece. Now, if I were working on this by myself, well, obviously I'm by myself, but not on camera, I would probably lay her on her back so that I have gravity working for me, and I'd probably either put her on a table or a lift so that I can work on it on a little different level. This is a little awkward for me because I am really tall and my chair doesn't get any shorter. So of course the lifts do help me get it into an angle that's good. So always put it in the angle that works best for you. If it works better for you if you're crawling around the floor, then go ahead and put it in that angle that works. All right, so I don't know if you guys, I'm hoping you guys can see this huge difference from this and then that side over there. So you really can't tell there's anything going on that side. There is that argyle pattern over here. So what we're gonna go ahead and do now is, get that out of the way. So we're gonna go ahead and work on down here. This piece down here has a floral motif. It has a small, really tiny molding here, and then you've got your piece that's holding the drawer front. So we're gonna do that whole little section there. Might be in the way for a bit when I'm applying this glaze on, but I'll try to hurry and get out of the way and not roll over my mic there. All right, and again, if you have any questions, just make sure you drop them down in the comments. I'll either answer them, or I'm sure Paint Couture will be on. Dustin Van Fleet is probably on, and I hope you guys caught his live on Sunday. He did his project with the color of the year, lemon peel, on his outdoor bench. It's very pretty. If you haven't got a chance to see it, go check it out. He will be on every Sunday, and I will be here every Thursday. So let's get this. Okay. And it's really dark, guys, so don't let that scare you. It completely changes your color. Okay, I'm trying to get in all those little grooves. There's some little grooves from all those flowers there. So I want to make sure we get all of those covered. All right, so I'm gonna do a pass through with this one. It's kind of had its days there. We're gonna go ahead and just take the pass off with that real quick here. Okay, let's keep going. All right, I'm done with that rag. I'm gonna get a new one. You do go through, or I do, I put this on pretty thick, so I don't save any for later, I guess. I just glop it on. There's no etiquette on how pretty you put it on because you're basically wiping it back. Okay. So I hope you guys are seeing this really pretty floral pattern that's here in the base. Okay. I really love working with all of these glazes. These are really by far one of the best glazes I've ever used. I used to use, back in the day, Sherwin-Williams had some that were oil based, so I did use those because they had a little bit more dry time, but these are fabulous, water based, lots of dry time, or really good work time, so it won't dry on you too quick. Okay, I'm gonna get in these little corners because I have some little crevices here. And I'll make sure I get all of that in there. So whatever tool works to get it off. You can actually use, we have the staining pads, but I feel like I'm going to get so messy that I would go through too many staining pads for this particular project. especially with the dark black, I think I would use too much. So I rather use my t-shirts, my cut up t-shirts for this project. Okay. I'm gonna roll. I'm gonna try to roll on this side real fast. So I want to take my time on this because I don't want to rush this. Now there are lots of colors, by the way, when it comes to glazing. And the Italian ivory I think would be one of those colors that would look good with everything. So we've got the darkest here, which is the Black Raven. We also have one of the lighter are going to be your Champagne, which has a shimmer to it, just like the word implies. Champagne's kind of what it reminds me of, so it's perfect. Van Dyke Brown is your traditional brown glaze, and it would be fabulous also. All right, so got that all done. I see a little piece over here. I don't want it to dry dark. All right. Okay, so we got this all nicely done. I love the carving. Now you can actually, I hope you guys are seeing the carving here. So it was totally unnoticeable for me before. Now we've got it brought out with the glazing. Okay, and you can of course use those on all kinds of furniture projects. You can also use the glazes on your cabinets. So got that there. All right, so let me go ahead. Let me roll and grab this real quick. All right. So it's a very, like I said, very pudding consistency, and a little bit of this one's going to go a long way. What I'm going to do is do this front here and wipe it back, and we're going to get this front as well. And I'm going to try to get our boxes here. So in this was a wood piece, and when you have it shut, you're going to see these edges. So we don't want to leave these undone. We want to make sure and do them the same treatment we are on the entire piece. I do like to work my pieces separate because this has so much detail here, and my drawers are pretty plain. I will do my drawers separate from all of this. I just keep it pretty consistent. Again, if you want one part a little darker, or if you need to darken it up, you can add just another coat of it as well. So not a big deal. Easy as pie. All right, and I'm just going to brush this on. This doesn't have any detailed work to it, so I'm not going to get it as perfect. That way when I wipe it back, we're going to get this right here though. When I wipe it back, it's going to go ahead and blend our entire front there. So I didn't use very much, just a little bit that was on my brush. Okay, I'm going to roll this. Now it's real important to keep your rag tight. If you have a little roll to it when you're trying to work it, it's going to leave like little rag marks, and you don't want that. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and do this inner box right here, because this I know you will see when the drawer is shut. Just going to do a little bit. Like I said, nothing real fancy on getting it on. I'm just going to work that in the corner, and I'm just going to pull that back. Oop. And let's see, we're going to pull that all the way down. I'm just going to make sure I work it in to make sure that I've got it very consistent in color. So if I have any holidays where the glaze is missing, it'll be noticeable when the drawer is shut, and we don't want that. All right, so there is that, so once we're done with the glazing, which next week we'll be doing a transfer and our top coat, which I'm super excited about because I love transfers. They are an easy way to transform a piece, or to me they're easy, but we'll teach you. You'll, I think, love them too, and you'll find that they're pretty easy to use. I'll get that all on here. I don't want to get too much of it on the front of the piece since I already got the glaze on the front. Okay, there we go. All right. So I'm gonna get this. I'm gonna work it in this little corner here. And we're only doing the inside right here because we can see about, when it's closed, we can see a little bit of the inside the box of this drawer. And we're going to make sure we get that so it all looks consistent once you have your drawers in. I got this all cleaned off. I'm going to be careful on my front. It's already starting to set up, so I don't want to take any of that off by overlapping any of this. That can sometimes happen. Okay. Make sure I don't have any extra anywhere. All right. So we got those done. So this is very easy. Don't be afraid of glaze. Of course, it's making me very dirty here. I don't normally wear gloves because I'd probably end up smearing it everywhere, and that's not something I want to do. So I usually just let it get all over me, and I'll just go wash it off. Not a big deal. This is soap and water cleanup. Like I said, it's very easy to clean up. It's very easy to work with. It is one of the easiest glazes that I've used on the market. Literally painted on white back. And I have a piece on our floor that I had painted it white, the top white, and I really wanted a wood, it's a wood piece, but I really wanted the wood top, but it was so damaged, it just wasn't in the cards for it. So I did use the Madagascar Mocha, that kind of a brown rich color. And I painted the top of the piece in that color, and then I went ahead and used the black chiffon, and it looks like wood. A lot of our customers think it's just a stained wood piece, and it's not. It is paint and glaze. So you can make a lot of cool stuff with the glazes. So not only just glazing your furniture, but you can also give it a wood look as well. And I really want to do one with the weathered wood because it's kind of, I would say it's my style, but I never end up with that in my house. So let's see, kind of that barn wood look is what I'd like. All right. So we're just getting inside those boxes, like I said, because once you put the drawers in, you're going to see that, and we want to make sure that we have that all completely covered. So let me see, I'm going to get these here. So you have to get all of your angles. And again, like I said, that one's going to be kind of hard to do. Okay, so when you're doing your solids, it's a little bit easier on your legs to kind of just get that all rubbed in and even. But when you have the textured areas, you got to make sure you jam that glaze in there and get it all in. And you can just leave it, you know, we could be done if we wanted to be. We certainly don't have to do anything else once it's totally glazed. If you're happy with the look, you can just, you know, go on and be done. I will be putting transfers on because I'm never a one and done kind of girl. So I want to make sure we get that lip, because remember, your in-laws are going to see that. So we want to make sure you get all of this done. And we'll get the drawers and the top later this week. We'll do that off camera, because how much fun is that going to be when you could be doing it, right? Why watch me when you can go get some glazes and do all this yourself and not have to watch me? So I encourage you guys to go out, grab you some glazes, get your favorite color. I don't have a favorite yet. I like them all. I kind of like them all. I would say this color, the Black Raven and Black Chiffon. Then you got Zinc is awesome. Again, weathered wood. Now I have tried the Lime Wash, which is the Colors of Sweden type of glaze. A little bit different. I will have to do something with that because it's a little, it's not puddingy like this. This is real pudding-like to me. So we want to make sure that you guys get a chance to see how that one works as well. It's a little different. It's a little more liquid, like a paint in a way. So that would be something we should do also for you guys. But this is pretty much it on glazing. It's very, very simple, very easy. Again, if you mess up, it's no big deal. It's just paint and glaze. So if you don't like it, you can always wait 24 hours and then just go ahead and repaint it. So it's not a big deal. Definitely not the end of the world. If you want it darker, just sometimes if I want a spot like shaded a little bit darker, I will dry brush some of the glaze on there. But in this case, it's a pretty dark glaze. I'm not going to make it any darker than it already is. And that would be it. So that's what I got for you guys. And I would say you can go to our website, pierceandbell.com. We have a coupon code 50 free ship, and we'll give you free shipping if you spend $50 or more on any of the paint and related products. We do have some more Black Raven coming in. We sold it out last week because we showed it. So we are having it come in this week, so be on the lookout for that. And then next week we'll see you here on next Thursday. Make sure you catch Dustin on Sunday. And that's it for you guys. Happy painting!